What's going on, guys? My name is Rumble Skrash. In today's video we're gonna be doing the showcase of the new PvP legend Enel. I'm actually really happy that this legend finally came out on global. I have been waiting for this a long time, not only because he's the first and for the moment only PvP exclusive legend, so that makes him like the PvP unit. And you can suppose I really wanted to have the only PvP exclusive legend because I really love PvP, and not only because of that, but also because I really like this character. I really like actually what he does in the normal game, but I really liked also the character in the series. Skypia is one of my favorite arcs, and I really love Enel. So I'm really happy that a unit like this came out. A really big fan of the side team and the side units. I really love those units too. So it is all perfect for me. So also I'm really happy that I managed to pull him. If you haven't checked out my pool videos, definitely go check it out here on top. I made a collaboration with Stamp the Gacha, and we did dual summons on this banner, so it was really cool to see how that went. So definitely go check it out. But without further ado, let's start with the showcase of this guy. Obviously, we're gonna be doing a showcase of PvP, nothing relating on PvE or anything like that, because I am focusing on PvP. So we're gonna be doing a showcase of a side team. Now, this is one option of a side team, but the good thing about the side team, and I'm gonna be talking about that, is that you have like massive amount of options to run. You can run the Shirahoshi here. You can run Kuzan here. You can run Boa. You can run Germa 66, but I'm missing him. You can run a rare recruit. Let me see if I can find like here, for example, you can run this rare recruit. I really like love these kinds of units, but I'm just testing. You can run Viola, you can run Crocus, you can run the rare recruit Rayleigh that came out with a Roger and Odin banner. So you can do a lot of different options, but I also really like this Shurahoshi here. I'm gonna be showcasing a lot of different teams here, but one thing I want to say before starting to talk about the side team is that I think I have been testing the side team and it just destroys everything. Like honestly everything. Like I have beaten every team that I have gone up against. Like in because the good thing about the side team is that it's very versatile. So you can just in that fifth spot. So in this fifth spot, you can just change your things. You can change your units depending on the variation of team that you're going up against. So you can beat quick teams, you can beat slasher teams, you can beat dex teams, you can beat side teams, even mirror matches, you can beat them with kind of consistency. You can beat that driven quick team with Kaido and Roger. You can beat a lot of teams. So I don't think there's obviously you can beat slasher teams, all of the variations, because Enel is actually thought to be like a straight up counter to the slasher team. Now, I don't really know how that worked for the creation of these characters, but I do think that they were trying to counter slashers. They decided to make a Psy-based character that was countering slashers, as well as the Rebecca and Toy Soldier, and they actually made Psy like a really powerful team. So I'm really glad that that happened because I really like Psy. But just like okay, the amounts of debuff that Rebecca Toy Soldier gives to slashers is ridiculous, but also the Enel debuff slashers. But it's not only that, like the Enel is giving defensive level 5 to Psy and for the whole match, and then with a really low cooldown special, even more defense and speed also, both with the passive and special. So it's really amazing that the fact that NL can give so much for side team and so much damage also because he will target all enemies for 1.1 damage. So on a 17-second cooldown, so that's really low. And I really love this unit. So in this video mainly we're gonna be focusing on showcasing the side team. So in this team we're gonna be beating the slasher teams and showing why I was saying that the slasher teams are completely dead with the release of the NL and Rebecca Toy Soldier, like they were kind of already dead with the B2 Kaido and everything, and I have already been building some teams that were beating slashers, but now they are officially dead. So I don't know, like I probably shouldn't suggest running a slasher team against most of the teams that you're gonna be seeing from now on. And in terms of putting it as a defense, I don't really suggest it either, but maybe it will work out if now that the slashers are dead, people think, oh, they are an easy team to beat and they go up against them with anything. But I wouldn't really recommend doing that. So in this video, as I said, we're gonna be mainly going up against different slasher variations and proving how strong Enel and Rebecca Soldier is. But I also wanted to give a quick spoiler on some future content and showing why I think Sai is so good and how it can beat like pretty much every team right now on global. Now we're gonna be getting probably the Ace versus Akainu, so the quick team is gonna only go stronger and stronger. So that is only gonna be, I think, in my opinion, the only rival. Together with in the future months, I'm not really sure when he's gonna be coming, but whenever we get Legend Moria, Int is gonna rise also a little bit, but I think Sai will be able to manage with that. So Sai team is really strong. The only team that in the future is gonna be able to rival them and probably surpass them in a sense, it's the quick team. But you're gonna be able to do some very interesting stuff with the Sai team. Now, so as I was saying, in this video we're gonna be going up against slashers, but I'm also gonna be putting some clips of some beating some quick teams, beating some Sai teams or something like that. So mirror matches. But then in the future, I'm gonna be doing separate videos focusing on beating quick teams in particular, beating mirror matches in particular, so that way you have more content. But I wanted to give a quick showcase of that too, so that way we get a full-on showcase of the B2 Enel and the Sai team potential. But mainly this video is going to be focusing against the slashers. Now, as you're seeing here, I'm actually on the middle day between Block C and Championship, because unfortunately tomorrow I'm not going to be able to record a video, and yesterday I could, so I had to actually record the matches and now record the video on a pre-recorded match. I don't really like to do that, but I had to do that this time. Like in future videos, I'm gonna try not to do that. But if I see that I'm not gonna be able on a particular day, I might have to do that, because today was a perfect day for me to record those videos, but I couldn't play per Rumble because it's the in-between day, so it was very unlucky for me. But I'm gonna be showing you some pre-recorded matches, and at the end I will also be showing you some screenshots of the results of matches and everything. So without further ado, let's actually start with these matches. So the first team we're gonna be going up against is actually the Halloween Law variation. So this one is a very easy variation to beat for the slashers, because they have nothing going for them. Like, yeah, Halloween Law does special bind, but Roger resists that, Kaido resists that, B2 Enel resists it, so it's just kind of pointless, you know? Like, so you will notice here that I'm not running an actually fully on a side team. I'm actually running kind of like an hybrid team with B2 Kaido. I think that's the best variation to destroy slashers with. Like, you can destroy slasher with a normal side team with Boa or Germa 66 or Kuzan or units like that, but I think it's faster with Kaido, because with this massive defense down, you can see that they are massively debuffed now. But the problem is that a lot of the times the Enel has already activated, so a lot of the times you cannot make use of that massive defense down like immediately at the first activation of Rebecca and Toy Soldier. But if you have Kaido, as you saw, it was a full wipeout with the special. Once Kaido activates, he clears the board with that massive defense down from Rebecca Toy Soldier and himself, and that is just GG. You don't really care if a PP Whitebeard activates, even if your Kaido dies, it doesn't really matter. It's just GG at this point, and it's very fast and clean with W. And yeah, so that would be against the Halloween Law variation. And the next one we're going to be going up against is the B3 low variation. Now I'm going to be showing you also a kind of a Shangsu variation. It was unfortunate because the time that I was recording, I started recording a match with Shangsu variation, but I didn't realize that instead of Roger it had B3 low. So the clip that I have is actually not a full-on Shangsu variation, but I do have screenshots of this team beating the Shangsu variation. So you're gonna be having to showcase that with the screenshots. But yeah, like I destroy slashers, and I'm also gonna be putting you other clips of this team beating the Halloween low variation, the B3 low variation, and everything. So let's see the B3 low variation now. So next max is gonna be actually the B3 low variation, and as you can see, it's a fully maxed with PP Whitebeard on the bench B3 low variation. You're gonna be seeing at the end with the combat power because it got cut off from the video. But yeah, as you can see, the placement is nice. It's a B3 low variation with PP Whitebeard, and you're gonna be seeing how fast we managed to beat them. Like even sometimes, if you have very bad RNG and your Kaido dies, you still get the W. Like the slashers have nothing, absolutely no chance with Rebecca and Tosh-Shoulder, and if they had a chance in a very weird situation where you had very bad RNG, the best slasher team would be still B3 low because it's debuffing Kaido and LL, but not really. Like you still get the W, and yeah, so you're gonna be seeing now the activation of the Rebecca Toss Soldier, and after that, probably I don't remember, but probably the activation of Kaido. But yeah, so here as you can see, it's looking not scary, but it's looking like, oh, maybe the Kaido doesn't get to activate. But as you're gonna be saying that it doesn't really matter, because even if my Kaido activates, you still have like the full side team, and Kizaru is already out. Now with the special of Odin, it's possible that the Kaido dies, but it doesn't really matter. Even like here I have Kalgar and Nolan, it's not the best unit to run here. I just run him because he's actually a side unit, so when he comes out from the bench he can get the defense from Enel and everything, so you have a little bit of a higher chance to hold the enemy unit so that your Soul Mask enters at the last 40 seconds if needed. But I mean, it's not really a problem, to be honest. And now here they have no defense, it's just done, and it's GG. So you can see though that the B3 low variation, it's still the best of the slasher variations right now, because the main units right now on the meta are actually driven. So a lot of the times the B3 low can help a lot with that. This was not the best team, the best match. Like you guys saw that like it wasn't close, but like some of my units died. But there's times that you don't have that kind of bad RNG and you just fully destroy them. So this would be a bad RNG match if you ask me. And look, it's still not really close. So yeah, so let's now see that Shangsu variation that I was talking about, and after that we're gonna be showing you some quick team variations and also going up against some side team variations and everything. And but mainly I'm gonna be showing you some clips and then also some screenshots, and that's gonna be it, because this is a fast showcase of Enel beating slashers and then explaining the potential that he has. But I'm gonna be making separate videos for all of that as I was explaining. So yeah. So we're gonna be going up against a Shangsu variation of the slashers, and it's a fully max one. So you will be seeing the combat power at the end, but because now it got cut from the video. But as you can see, it's always useful to use B3 low because we are debuffing Dofi, but the slashers are mainly debuffed by Enel. So Dofi has a special city down level 11, and the other slashers only have level 5. Now, the good thing about using slashers without a B3 low is actually that you can get your Kaido without getting any debuff. In here, in this particular variation of the slashers, there is a B3 low. So it's kind of unfortunate because I was going up against this team thinking it was the Shangsu variation, and then I realized that, oh wait, what is this B3 low doing here? And I realized that they didn't have Roger, so that is not a really good showcase, but you can see the full wipeout that we just do here. So this is not really gonna be a match that's gonna be very representative, but you can see that even if you say, oh, maybe it's because of this Kaido here, and I'm gonna be using B3 Law also to debuff them and use Shangster to get some defense. I mean, I wouldn't really replace Roger, but maybe that's something that you're thinking of. And as you can see, I don't really recommend it. All my units are above 50%, and it just GG at this point, even with less than 50 seconds. Now it's just done, so I don't really recommend that. Now we're gonna be seeing some other matches. So here you can see actually the side team beating the Shangsu variation. This case I was using B2 Kuzan in that fifth spot. So and yeah, and I beat it with a PvP Whitebeard on the bench completely perfectly with no problems at all. Like none of my units died. But yeah, here we can see actually that Kaido hybrid variation beating and destroying the B3 low variation, and this time none of my units died. As I was explaining the clip that I showed, two of my units died, but in this one, like none of my units had to die, and it's just a full destroying of them. So yeah, you guys see that even in a bad RNG match, like just a couple of your units can die, or maybe three, but that's probably it. Here we can see another B3 low variation being destroyed, and as you can see here, also two of my units died. In this case, it wasn't black B2 Kaido. And here you can see that we have another Shanks variation, and you can even use weird variations with this Kuma here that I was showing you at the beginning of the video, and it still works perfectly fine. This is how strong Enel and Rebecca Tosolier are. It's just like they destroy slashers. Like the fifth unit that you put, it's kind of like just helping you in terms of beating it faster or something like that, or maybe with more safety, but it's the result is a lot of the times the same. So in this, finally, now that you have seen all of these screenshots and all these match results, at the end of the video I'm gonna be including some other clips against slashers, but mainly that's gonna be it for the slashers. I think that now they are officially dead, so finally we don't have to talk about slashers anymore. But let's talk now about the new team that's gonna be mainly talked about for apart from Sai in the next months, which is the quick team. So we're gonna be bursting the quick team here, and as you can see, I'm running like kind of a strange variation. I already talked about this in some of my previous videos, but I'm running Corazon here, and it looks kind of weird because he's just a Dex unit in a side team, and it's really weird. But his passive is actually debuffing quick by a massive amount, and together with P3 Law, like the Kaido and the driven units on this kind of quick team, are actually getting massively debuffed. So that is actually massive, because for example now their Kaido is not actually yes, it's actually gonna activate, but it's so late in the match. It's already been 33 seconds and he has a 26-second cooldown. And the Corazon, actually it's good because it can actually heal all of your units, but it can also massively buff the defense of some of your units. You are seeing defense up level 7 or a small range, but a lot of the times he places himself in the middle of your units, so even if it's a small range, he can at least target 2-3 of your units, and if you're lucky, maybe all of them or 4 of them. So you're seeing now a pretty good match result. Not every time it's that big of a difference. A lot of the time it's a little bit more closer, but most of the times I would say you can actually kind of guarantee the win against this particular quick team. When versus Akainu releases, this team is also gonna be working, but I don't think it's gonna be working that well, but it's still gonna be getting the W. And with Legend Magellan, I think it's actually gonna be way more close, and maybe 50-50 chance, but still, like you can do crazy stuff with the side team and putting like a weird unit like a Corazon here. And that's what I was saying when I was saying like this fifth spot, you can just plan things around and use the units that you actually would like to counter the enemy units. So if you're using going up against a quick team, you can use the Corazon here and you just get the massive win. As you guys saw, none of my units had to die to do that. So yeah, it was really cool. I'm gonna be showing you some other clips at the end of this video, and there's also some clips in which it wasn't that straight up win, and it was way more closer, because sometimes you can have bad RNG. It's still per Rumble, it's still RNG. So there's ways in which you can be way more scared depending on the bench unit, but yeah, that's gonna be it for the quick team. I'm gonna be making like a full-on video countering the quick team, but I wanted to give a quick peek at what it's gonna be looking like, because I wanted to showcase B2NL in PvP, and it wouldn't really fair to just go up against slashers. So yeah, so the next match is actually gonna be against a very powerful team that we have talked for the past month with, which was with this kind of driven slasher team, if you can say that. So driven team with Roger. So it was very scary, because a lot of the times the early quick counters that we found, it was really difficult to beat this team too. This team is really powerful, it destroys slashers, but it was also beating kind of quick teams. So it was a really scary team. And now with the side team, you can also beat them with relative ease. In this particular match, I'm using Kaido, but you can still also use Corazon, and it's gonna be still fine. So I'm gonna be showing you also some clips in which I'm going up against this particular team using Corazon, and you're gonna be seeing that it's still a really nice result. So yeah. And actually, there's not much to talk about here, like, because their Roger is getting debuffed by my Enel, their Dofi is getting massively debuffed by my Enel and my B3 low, and their driven units are getting debuffed by B3 low. But if you run Corazon, the quick units, which is Bellamy, Tesoro, and Kaido, are getting massively debuffed by Corazon. So there's no escape for the enemy unit. The only unit that might be getting a little bit okay, which would be the Roger, but he's still getting a special city down level 5, so it's not even a problem. So as you can see, this was a straight up win. Some of the times I have seen that using this Kaido variation, it can be a little bit more closer with this Kaido, because if the Kaido dies without activating and then you lose some other units, it can be a little bit more scary. But if you run Corazon, you shouldn't be having that problem. So I think it's better to run Corazon against this particular variation. But this clip was one of the first tries that I did, and as you guys saw, it worked perfectly fine. Yeah, next up we're gonna be going up against a mirror match against the side team. So here we have the first mirror match against the side team, and you're going to be able to see what units am I using and how do I beat them. So I'm using the Skonis here in the 5th spot because I want to debuff Sai. So Sai is getting massively debuffed in special city down level 6, but also the special of Konis is actually really useful because it can special bind 2 Sai units, which, yes, okay, like Roger and Enel resist special bind, but maybe I don't target them, and then action bind 1 unit for 10 seconds, which only Roger resists that. So that is actually really cool. And yeah, actually with using Konis here, we can use a legend on the bench, so I'm using a B3 Zoro. If you want to rely on more on fixed damage, you could still use also like B1 Akainu if you have him invested in, because he will be probably coming out at the last 30 seconds. So you're going to be able to get the massive fixed damage. But I do like using B3 Zoro here because at the end, the enemy units do not really have a lot of a lot of defense anyway. But yeah. So you're gonna be saying like it's not important if the Konis doesn't activate, it's just we wanted to debuff them and we already did. So she already did her job, and now we are debuffing them. We will massively deal a lot of damage with special of the Enel. And yeah, you can run other variations to counter these kind of side teams. But I do think this is one of the best ones because it's one of the safest ones, because you can have actually an 8-man team with a legend on the bench, so you have massive damage potential. And yeah, I don't want to give out too much and show you guys too much, because I'm gonna be making a particular video on how to go up against side teams using a side team, and maybe also how to beat side teams without a side team. But yeah. So in this particular match, you guys are seeing just it's the end of the match. We just have to finish the bench nukes that have no defense. So that is just GG. and it wasn't really close or anything. Like, I don't really think that would have changed anything, but yeah. And next one, we're gonna be going up against another side team, and I do have another variation to counter side teams. So in that fifth spot, using a different unit, but I don't wanna give out too much. So you're gonna be seeing that in the particular video that I'm gonna be making. But yeah, so let's see the next match. So in this particular team, I did not really need to showcase another side team beating, but as I found actually Totski, I found it interesting to go up against him because a lot of the times I haven't seen him in championship. I think he goes in exhibition, so I found it funny to go up against him. And also he's using a little bit of a weird variation of the slashers of the side team, because I don't think he has Rebecca Toy Soldier, so he's not using Rebecca Toy Soldier obviously if he doesn't have them. So he's using actually Kaido there. So it's using a 6-man team, not an 8-man team, but it's a kind of really interesting one, and it's really interesting to see how it performs. Like, I went up against them with the Connie's variation, so debuffing Sai, but keep in mind that the Kaido is not getting debuffed by that. So the Kaido is only getting debuffed by the B3 law, which is a little bit scary, and you're gonna be saying that it's not, like, actually it performs, it gives out more resistance than the previous match. But yeah, we still get the W because we have a really strong team, and as I was saying, it can basically beat every team that you go up against them if you plan it correctly and you have the max out units and everything. But yeah, so here, as you can see, my Conies activates. Actually, I action bind the Enel and I special bind the B3 low, which is really nice. Unfortunately, I did target with special bind the Enel, I think, so he resists that, but it doesn't really matter. And now, also one thing to mention is that that side team also relies a lot on fixed damage, so you don't really care if they have really high defense. Like, yeah, maybe the Enel is not gonna be dealing as much damage, but that fixed damage of Law and Roger is actually gonna be doing a lot of work. So here we have the bench units. They are not max from the bench, so but their Kaido is not, the Totsuki's Kaido is not gonna activate, and now we just finished the match. Like, yeah, our PP Whitebeard will probably die here. And yeah, as you guys saw, it was way more close of a match, but here the Solo Mass misses on one unit, but it's okay, because now if the Zoro activates, we will just win, and I don't think he actually needs to activate. Okay, yeah, he does, but it just one time, so he would have dealt way more damage. He would have dealt 5x attack now, but he just have to deal the first round. So, and that's it. But as you guys saw, it was way more close, so it was an interesting team, but we still managed to get the win. And now you're gonna be able to see some more clips if you wanna find some more results. But that's gonna be it for today. Definitely let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of these teams. So yeah, as I mentioned, you're gonna be seeing now some more results, but I'm not gonna be commenting on them. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I really can't wait to do the actual showcase, going up against Squeak, going up against Sai, going up against Dex. I also have some results against Dex. I didn't show anything now in this video, but I have massively beaten Dex teams with Sai teams, because you can round some cheeky units there to debuff Dex, which you probably can guess what unit that is. But yeah, so I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.